or you'll get it from me. What's this? A hobbit's picking a fight with us? Seriously, first your sister, now you've got tiny people fighting your fights for you? You really are pathetic. My brother was wide-eyed. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't even recognize me. Please, whoever you are, just please stay out of this. It's not worth it. But I was done letting them bully my brother. With one swift kick, I hit the biggest of them on the nose. There was a sickening crunch, and I knew I'd broken his nose. The guy immediately fell on his knees, but it only made him angrier. Oh, you've done it now, you stupid hobbit! The four who stood around me grabbed my arms, but I was quicker than any of them. I ducked and kicked one guy's shins. He too dropped to the ground. And then, in 2 seconds, I'd hit the other two boys in their bellies, their sides, and their chests, and they lay on the ground squirming in pain. We yelled, "We surrender, please! Stop!" I threw my hat on the ground with them, and I let my hair down. Still think a girl can't take you in a fight? I felt so smug, so vindicated as their faces turned into expressions of shock and surprise. And then there was clapping. I didn't even notice we'd had an audience. But before I could smile, our principal came forward. It was evident who beat up those boys, and so I got expelled that same day. They didn't even listen to what I had to say. They wouldn't take my brother's explanation either. They just said that I beat up 5 kids, and so I was no longer welcome there. I ended up being homeschooled. My parents were not happy about it. They also canceled my Taekwondo classes. But months later, a video of what happened surfaced on the internet. It spread very quickly, and then it went viral. Supergirl, they called me. It showed how the fight started, and it proved that I was just trying to protect my brother. Soon, after some of our old classmates spoke up about the events, the world knew that the boys had been terrorizing my brother for months. My parents apologized to us, and they told me how proud they were of me. Soon, the whole town was too. I was interviewed by the local paper, and then national news channels came. They asked the same questions over and over again. It was weird seeing myself on the TV. The media told my story. People were shocked when they heard that I got expelled for standing up for my brother's bullies. And that got people talking. They told our old principal that he should be ashamed for not listening to both sides of the stories or even trying to investigate the matter. The fact that those 5 boys belonged to powerful families was his only reason for expelling me. And somehow, that story reached one of the country's top schools. They offered me a sports scholarship, and my parents gave their blessing. They also hired my old Taekwondo instructor to be my coach. My old school begged me to come back. The principal even came to our house and knelt in front of my parents, but I'd already accepted the other school's offer. And who's to say that that kind of thing would happen again? After all, our principal was best buddies with one of those guys' dads. Plus, they were still there. They weren't even suspended after the truth came out. Years later, I was thriving in my new school. I was doing well in my sport. And with the love and support of those around me, especially my coach, my school, and my family, I qualified for the Olympics. There, before my first fight, I met a boy from Korea. He was kind and sweet, and he asked me to practice with him.
快手
What?
看见
With a
每一
boy?
种生活。
Why not? Well, you're taller than me. We're not even in the same weight class. And you're a boy. That doesn't mean you're not stronger. Let's try it anyway. Might help you in your fights. So I sparred with him. At first I was intimidated. He was a tall, muscled guy.
快手
And he was
看
from
见每
Korea,
一种
the
生活。
birthplace of Taekwondo. He could defeat me in seconds. But I took a deep breath and calmed myself. After all, I'd seen my martial arts instructor spar with men twice her size and win. Taiwan did beat me in less than a minute. But from that moment on, I learned from him. He taught me my biggest strength, I noticed I may not be as strong, but I was faster. I could sneak a kick past my opponent's guard, and with Taiwan's help, I won my first fight. We trained together until finally I qualified for the finals. I brought home the gold for my sport, and it made everyone really proud. I became a hometown hero overnight. My old school tried to get me to speak at an assembly celebrating my Olympic win, but I politely declined. In one interview, I said, people should stop judging others based on their gender or looks or size. But still, I thank the people who looked down on me. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have pushed myself to get better. Taiwan and I kept in touch. We're dating now. He's coming all the way from Korea this week. I'm excited to introduce him to my parents.